The trouble began on a warm Tuesday afternoon, the kind of day when the sun seemed too gentle for anything cruel to exist. Yet cruelty always finds shadows to hide in, even on bright days. 3 schoolgirls, Lena, Sarah, and Alina, walked home with the timid steps of those who had learned to fear the sound of footsteps behind them. For weeks, a group of older men who hung around the edge of town had been trailing them, taunting them, blocking their way, and waiting for moments when the street grew quiet. What began as mocking words turned into dangerous confrontations. Each day after school felt like stepping into a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, bravery, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us spread stories that matter. The girls had tried to hide the truth from their parents, afraid it would make things worse. They whispered about it to each other in the hallways, clutching their books tightly to their chest as if paper and pages could shield them from danger. Lena, the quietest and smallest of the 3, felt the heaviness the most. Every step home felt like walking with stones in her pockets, her stomach twisting with the fear of what might be waiting. And on that Tuesday afternoon, trouble finally caught up. The men blocked the road as the girls reached the corner near the old mechanic's shop. Their bikes rumbled low, like beasts waiting to pounce. One of the men flicked his cigarette toward their shoes, smirking as if their fear was entertainment. Another stepped forward, towering over them with cruel confidence. Lena could barely breathe. Sarah squeezed her hand so tightly her fingers went numb. Alina tried to stand tall, but her voice trembled when she whispered for them to just keep walking. And then, as the sunlight flashed off chrome and leather, the leader of the group stepped closer. His smile wasn't friendly, it was the kind that made the world tilt the wrong way. But before he could say another word, the air shifted behind them. Tires crunched. Boots stepped onto pavement. Shadows grew longer. The girls turned slowly and saw a line of motorcycles pulling up, each one heavy and roaring like thunder rolled into metal. The Hells Angels, men the whole town was afraid of, men people whispered about, had arrived without warning. Their vests bore patches that made most people turn away, but to the 3 terrified girls, they suddenly looked like the safest thing in the world. At the front of the group stood a tall man with long blonde hair tied back, his arms covered in ink and scars. His presence felt like a storm ready to break. The other bikers formed a circle behind him, silent but powerful, their eyes taking in the scene with a cold understanding that came from a lifetime of seeing the worst in people. What happened next spread through the town before sundown. The bikers didn't speak at first. They simply walked forward, slow and steady, their boots thudding against the asphalt like a warning drum. The bullies, grown men who had enjoyed terrorizing schoolgirls, suddenly had fear in their eyes. And for once, someone else was standing on the road between danger and innocence. The blonde biker stepped closer until he was face to face with the leader of the bullies. The air thickened with tension as people gathered around, unsure of what was about to unfold. The men who had harassed the girls were ordered to their knees. There was no shouting, no chaos, just a quiet, terrifying authority that came from the kind of men who lived by their own code of justice. In the presence of the Hells Angels, the bullies finally understood the weight of what they had done. Lena stood behind the biker with trembling hands, watching with wide eyes. For weeks she had walked with fear pressed against her ribs. Now, for the first time, she felt something different, safety. Not because someone rescued her, but because someone cared enough to show up. Someone chose to stand between her and harm. The kneeling men tried to spit excuses, but the bikers weren't interested in explanations. One of the angels, a towering man with dark hair and metal rings on every finger, knelt to look the bullies in the eyes. He didn't threaten them, he didn't need to. His calm stare was enough to make them realize the depth of their mistake. The punishment wasn't violence. Instead, they were made to apologize in front of the entire crowd gathering around, including the girls they had tormented. Their voices shook. Their faces burned with shame. The schoolgirls watched, trembling but stronger than before. When the apologies were done, the blonde biker turned to the girls. His voice was deep, steady, and unexpectedly gentle. He told them no one had the right to make them feel unsafe. He told them fear didn't have to be carried alone. The girls didn't speak, they couldn't. But Lena's eyes filled with tears she had been holding for weeks, and for the first time, they felt seen. As the bikers walked the girls all the way home, the sun dipped low, painting the street with long shadows and gold light. Neighbors peeked from doors and windows, stunned by what they witnessed. By the time the girls reached their houses, the world felt different. The fear that once wrapped around their hearts began to loosen. And the bullies who once haunted their path never appeared again. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe, and share it. It helps us spread more stories of courage and unexpected heroes. Before the ending, tell us in the comments. Do you believe that sometimes protectors come from the most unexpected places? And that day, as the girls looked back and saw the motorcycles roaring away into the fading sun, they realized something powerful. Sometimes the world sends angels, but not the kind with wings. Sometimes they arrive on two wheels, wearing leather, carrying stories written in scars, and choosing to protect the innocent simply because it is the right thing to do. That was the day the bullies learned fear. And the girls learned strength.